Hello Starseeds, this is my Ku with Starseed Tarot, and for today we'll be doing a pick a card reading on your career path and what decisions will best serve you to get you to where you want to be in terms of your career. For this reading, I also want you to use your intuition to figure out what messages resonate with you the most. As this is a generalized reading, it's not intended to be specific. I do provide private reading services, and you can find all that information down below. If this is the first time you are doing a pick a card reading, all you have to do is pick a pile, go into the description box below, look for the timestamp next to your pile number, and then either fast forward to it or click on the link in the comments that I'll be providing later on to get to your reading. You are also more than welcome to pick more than one pile. Oftentimes, too, with some people, they like to listen to the whole video to just kind of see what resonates with them. So I do want to remind you that this is a generalized reading. If you want a more specific or private reading, I do have my information down below, or you can check out my services listed on Etsy. So without further ado, we can get started. So right here we have from my left to my right is pile number 1. This is pile number 2, pile number 3, and pile number 4. At this moment, you can pause the video to meditate or take your time to pick your pile. And when you're ready, you can go right ahead to your reading. So with the cards that have come out for your reading, there's a lot. Right now, you could even be someone who is dealing with an imbalance at work. And you want that. You're seeking balance at your current workplace or your job, and you're not feeling fulfilled. You're also someone who is very prideful of the knowledge and the experience you have obtained to get to where you are, and yet you're not feeling, the exploitation card comes up too, you're not feeling like you're being appreciated. And in a way, you're feeling more so like you're being exploited. You're being exploited by the people who are higher up from you. Now, what this card over here represents is you're demanding respect. You're demanding respect from your coworkers and even your higher ups, and you're feeling like because you're not being respected or recognized, you're wanting to leave. You're wanting to leave where you don't know what to do. And this card over here, the World Tree card, is representing how you are feeling. Is you're kind of feeling like you're at an end with that position, right? And so now you're wondering, what else can you do? Now, what this card represents is things that you cannot change about your job, right? The Journey card, right? No matter how you went into this position, there's no way that you can change the circumstances to have a better experience. The people and your higher ups that you have developed this relationship with, so to say, that will never change. Even if you try to persuade others to give you respect, or you demand that respect, there's no way that it would have ever changed. Even if you were to do everything that they told you to say, even if you lost a piece of yourself to get along with others, none of that would have changed. These people were always going to have this preconceived idea about who you are. And so nothing in the journey that you have taken a part in for this particular position would have changed the circumstances. In the end, it would have all came to the same place. And so what this card represents is your current view of your career performance. You're very proud of what you've done, but you've kind of come out of this position each year, each month that goes by, as if you've become wiser and have obtained more knowledge about this feel that you have had the privilege of working in. You're very proud of it, regardless of the hardships that you've endured in this position. And so what the stag card also represents is judgment, right? Even though you've done all that you can to please the people around you so that you can work comfortably, you're still feeling a lot of judgment, and that in turn makes you project judgment about others, and that's not something that you like. That's not something that you like doing, is judging others. That's not like you at all. But you fall into that habit because you're feeling judged by others, okay? And what this card represents is it's the balance card, and this card represents the personal changes to boost your career. You want that balance. You know that you like to have an even balance of constructive criticism and praise. And where you are, you're not feeling that. That's why this respect card comes up. This is what you want. This is what you want from your peers and people who are at the same level as you, or even your higher ups, is to have that respect. Why is it that no matter how much you put out there and no matter how much you try to get along with people, you still feel disrespected? And that is the main factor in why you are considering another option. Okay, this card right here, Page of Vessels, represents past issues which affect present performance, right? This card, the Page of Vessels, represents an aspect of you that was very into just letting go of a piece of yourself to make others comfortable. So you maybe in the past, or what you have continued to perpetuate in your own behavior and onto yourself, is being a people pleaser. And again, you don't like that. You've had to be a people pleaser so that you can get along with others, so that it could be a little bit easier for you. I'm even sensing maybe that in your work environment, there was workplace bullying, and you just couldn't sit right with that. And even when you tried to speak up about it, you got shut down, or that scenario got flipped around on you, as if you were the person presenting this issue to cause drama, when actually you were just speaking up for something. You're speaking up about toxic behavior in your workplace. And so after having experienced all of that, you wanted to you knew that nothing was going to change. And so how you wanted to be more at peace or negotiate peace with others in your work environment or your work culture was to please people, which was very unlike you. And so even in this whole scenario, you're coming to terms with the fact that you have lost a huge part of yourself to make others happy, and that wasn't anything that you could control. And so you're at a point where you're at the end of your journey with this position. That's also what the world tree represents as well. It's the end of a journey. And so even if you change everything about your situation, there's nothing that you can do to better it, because it takes a whole village to work together to make something move forward. And you're feeling like you're the only one trying to move forward, or trying to create a healthy work environment or work culture, and yet you're not being heard. And so even with your efforts and with your experience that you bring to the table, you're feeling exploited, because there's no sense of respect coming from that, right? You're still just seen as somebody who comes in and clocks in and clocks out, works the 9 to 5 and leaves. And nobody's really appreciating how much you are bringing to the table. But it could even be that, everybody is so burnt out in this job that they're starting to just not care. They're starting to not care about the the mental health of their coworkers. They've stopped checking in with others because they're also dealing with stuff. And so now is a time where you have to start reevaluating if this is a productive or healthy work culture that you want to continue participating in, continue to work for. Again, the premise of this reading is to figure out what choices or decisions best serve you. And at this moment, you have to start evaluating, does this job come back to you in terms of your own emotional and spiritual and mental stability? And so exploitation comes up as your 7th card, and this card represents any results if there's guidance, anticipated results if there's any guidance that follows. And it leaves at a very bleak, the last card that's drawn is a very bleak message: exploitation. Even if you go out of your way to please others, you're still gonna feel exploited. You're still gonna feel like that respect isn't gonna come back to you. So it comes back to how you feel about it. Like, even though this job is paying your bills, is it worth it for your own mental health and your spiritual health and your emotional health? And so I want to draw a card for exploitation. Okay, I want to look deeper into exploitation. All right, so as we're looking more into exploitation, right, more so of what resolution can we find in this? What else? How else can we resolve this feeling, right? And at the highest potential, this card comes up. The shaman card up here represents, in this deck, it's considered the shaman, but in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it represents the magician. And so you're a person who's really good at what you do, and you have to remember that. You have to remember that you were the expert to be hired into this position. And if you are the expert and you're feeling this way about the workplace culture, well, how can you change it? Or what can you change about your circumstances so that you're not having to fight for respect, and you're not having to lose a piece of yourself so that others can be comfortable? Okay, remember that you are a magician. You are the shaman of your circumstances, and you can change it. You can change it regardless of how other people will judge you or feel about you. Know that you can change your circumstances. Okay, and everything is not set in stone. All right. So the next card is work and projects. Okay. The breath of life. Again, the breath of life, literally representing a life breather, breathing life into projects, breathing life into everything that you put your energy and heart into, right? If you're thinking about what a shaman does, right, in mythology anyways, not specific to any culture, but they have the ability to move energy, to heal, to maybe in some mythologies to breathe life into inanimate things. Okay, this is what this card is telling you. This is what you can do. You can breathe life back into yourself, back into projects, or back into your passions that you've been wanting to do, right? Regardless of the jobs that you have been involved in, there's always something out there in a way. This is kind of like a card of hope too. Okay? So know that you have that ability. You have that ability to change things. It's almost like an alchemist who can turn an element into a completely different other element. Okay? Right. Now, it doesn't go without saying that this path is going to be easy, right? This path isn't going to be easy. It's because with this card, which represents the monetary or the income or the financial part of it, it's going to be hard, right? Look at this. Look at this goat or this sheep or this goat trying to dodge these arrows. You're gonna hit a point where it's gonna be very hard to keep your head afloat above waters. But you're gonna be dodging every one of those situations. Okay, every one of those situations, you're gonna be able to not necessarily dodge it, but address it head on and overcome it. Okay. And what this card represents too is frustration. You're going to be frustrated. Every path involves some level of frustration, but this new challenge, the frustration isn't so much that's going to be detrimental to yourself. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you stronger, and it's going to make you evolve. It's going to make you become wiser in the end. Okay. And so what this last card represents is if you take this new path into your career path, right? If you tread a new path, you tread a new trail, it's going to be hard, right? You're going to have to crumble before you can pick yourself back up and rebuild yourself. But you won't know until you take that action. And so the blasted oak is correlating with the hanging man in the traditional Rider-Waite deck. And with that card, it represents letting go, being vulnerable, but also seeing things from a different perspective. Seeing things from a different perspective, not necessarily going down the traditional path of doing things. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard, frustration-wise. It's going to be hard. I'm kind of having a feeling that you want to start your own business. And you know it's going to be hard. But you have to think about which decision is going to serve you the most, right? Going along this path of continuing to work for the company that makes you feel like crap every day, is that more worth it, even though it pays the bills? Or is it slowly developing the business career of your choice and dealing with the first hard 5 years, income hardship, financial hardship for the first 5 years before you get to where you are, right? And what these cards are revealing is that, yes, if you take this alternative route of pursuing the funds to create a small business, establishing that LLC, creating that, service, it's going to be hard because you are starting from scratch. But you can think of it this way too. If you do it responsibly, it will definitely be worth it. Do it responsibly and you'll see that all the horrible workplaces or work cultures that you've been involved in, you survived all of those. If the only thing is preventing you from pursuing this new business endeavor is money, then figure out how to address that issue. Because what is going to worth it in the end is your mental health, your emotional health, and your spiritual health. Not that this path is going to alleviate all of that, but if you truly believe it in yourself, you have the courage to jump in and do this, it will be worth it. I'm kind of even sensing that you're a person who likes challenges, a person who likes to change things up every so often. You get bored with your jobs very easily. Like once you have accomplished something, like a huge project, you put it in a folder and you pack it away, and you're on to big and better things. So in terms of the overall message that is intended for you in this is that you know that if you stay with this job, how it's going to go. But what you haven't tried out is this other thing that you've been wanting to do that you have never done before. And how is this different from other projects that you have done in the past? Okay, so there are two things that the cards are asking you to evaluate is, again, finding out which solution, which resolution best serves you and your needs. Okay. All right. So pile number 1, this is your reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. I, again, do private services. You can find my information in the description box. And if this resonated with you, feel free to like or comment down below. If this didn't resonate with you, that is completely fine as well. Once again, thank you, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the next video. Alright, so I don't usually do reversed card readings, so I'm just going to flip this up. More than often, reverse card meanings are the opposite of what the cards read, but I haven't yet looked too much into it. And for me, I don't personally do reverse readings because I find that the meanings aren't that different. And for me, I just don't particularly have any interest in doing reversed cards, and so the middle card was the only one that was reversed, so I'm flipping it up and I'm just reading it as how it is. Okay, so the first card that was flipped over for you is the Queen of Stones, which is the bear, and this card represents the present career path that you truly desire, and you're someone who is pretty confident and comfortable with where you are. You are again, Queen of Stones, right? The Queen of Stones. You have everything that you want, material, monetary wise, everything is going good for you. You may even be someone who owns your own business and you're seeing how everything is falling together. You're someone who is very good with handling money, and so you're very, even if you're not a small business owner, you're someone who knows how to handle money, and you may even have like a side hustle, and it just kind of really helps you with either supporting your family or supporting yourself or your business or expanding your business. And so this card represents what you truly desire, or what you are, or where you are. Okay, so this next card represents actions that can be taken to advance your career, and what comes up is the Ace of Vessels, the waters of life. Okay, and so what this card is calling for you to do is to let's see. So the Ace of Vessels, what it's calling you to do is to gather your emotional energies and keep them in balance for healthy, creative, and loving interaction. Are you currently sensing that, with your expansion, or with how much accolades and how much kind of praise that you're getting in your current workplace? Are you feeling like there are those who are feeling some type of way as well? This card is kind of asking you to just be present and be able to check your emotions. Try not to get into your feelings so quickly if someone approaches you, or being present and seeing the bigger picture outside of just the small interactions that you are getting into. So in a way, it's calling on you to just check your emotions. Don't react too quickly to what someone might say, or someone might say that might sound like judgment or criticism. Um, The next card on your spread is the Ten of Bows, and it represents aspects of a career that cannot be changed, right? Something that you can change is obviously the responsibility. Being a person who either runs a huge department in your company, or owning your own business, the responsibilities will never change. You, as the person that you are, in the position that you are in, will always have the responsibilities that that you are required to do, right? And so it could even be something where it's not so much your own responsibility, but other people who you're working with in your team, their responsibilities, and now is the time for them to start kicking it up too, because you have done your piece in contributing to the projects and the assignments at work. Now it's a time for you to just kind of see how things are falling together, or seeing how other people work as well, and knowing how to evaluate who you want to work with, either in your community, in your company, or in your business. And so these are things that you can't just change. For example, if you are the CEO of your company, you can't just let an intern run your business, right? Your responsibilities, you are the CEO for a reason. It's because you have a specific vision for the company, you have a specific task, you have specific duties that you need to do, because interns are just not going to be able to do it. This is because you have the expertise, you have the knowledge that comes with your position, and that is why you're in the position. That is something that you just absolutely cannot change. And for the interns, their position is the way that it is set is because of their knowledge base that they come into the business as well. They are there to learn and also shadow their higher ups, so that they can gain more insight and more experience to be able to do what they want to do in the future as well. And so the things that you cannot change in this career path is obviously the responsibilities, right? There's always going to be someone who has to say, like in a grocery store, there's always going to be someone who is hired to be a cashier. There's always going to be someone who is hired to manage what the stockroom looks like. There's always going to be someone to do the stocking, and someone to run either the first or second or third shift. They're hired for that position for a specific reason. It's because one person cannot wear multiple hats within a business structure, or a company structure, or a system that exists within a supermarket. And so these are things that you just absolutely cannot change. And using this card to kind of think about, where everyone in your team, what role do they have, and how can you use their strengths to also benefit the business but also benefit them, right? For example, how can the CEO mentor benefit from the intern, and vice versa? The intern benefits from this work relationship by gaining the insight and the information and the knowledge from this expert CEO, whereas the CEO benefits from having a fresh take from the intern, whereas the intern comes in with fresh ideas on things that are trending or what's going on, and being in tune to whatever is on social media that they can bring to the company. What the CEO obviously benefits from with the intern is the little things that the CEO cannot do. And so think about this card as how each responsibility can benefit the expansion or the growth of your business. Okay. Not so much that this is what you do, but those are just examples, okay? So this fourth card down here represents the present view of current career performances. And for you, you may even be feeling like there are those in the industry that you work in or those at the company that you work in, maybe feeling jealous because of the accolades and the things that you are getting. So beware of those arrows being shot at you. But not necessarily, again, react so volatilely to it, right? Don't go around asking people, like, are they jealous of you? But be mindful of it. Know how to check your emotions in those situations. You're going to know who those people are, but it's going to come back to how do you respond and react to them. And so the card, that the waters of life, is telling you to check your emotions. Don't reveal those emotions, because those emotions can also be what causes your demise in the business or in your company and the expansion of your business or the industry or the field that you're working in. Okay. So this next card is represents the personal changes to boost career performance, right? And the interesting thing is, I always feel like the wheel card is a very, very good card. It's always a good sign when the wheel card comes up in a spread. And the wheel card in the traditional deck represents, I believe, the real card. I don't think they've changed it so much, but yeah, it represents the wheel card. And the thing is that this card represents karma and the laws of the cosmos and the cycle of life. And so, because this card, the fifth card, represents changes to boost your career performance, essentially what the cards of the universe and the divine and the spirit is telling you to do is to just let those haters hate, right? Because karma will take place, right? Karma will take place. Not necessarily so much from the perspective that, they will get what they are coming, because in a way, when you send that energy out, that's going to come back to you too, because you're kind of like sending a curse to those people. But, what the wheel card is telling you to do, in addition to the Ace of Vessels, is check your emotions, because in the end, how somebody feels about you has nothing to do with your karmic debt or with your karma. And trusting that whatever is intended for you will happen. You, again, are you create your path, you create your experience and your reality. And this card is reminding you of that. Is that you can do that. You can create your reality. You can manage how you feel and react to certain people who might not feel the same way about you as your friends or might not be happy for you. You can change how you feel about those people or react to those people by not giving it 2 cents, right? And so this is what the wheel card is telling you, is that you are the weaver of your own fate. And that's just how things work, like the wheel, there's a cycle. It's gonna happen. It's meant to, it's the things that are meant to happen to you are intended to happen to you. Everything that you've experienced up until this point was meant to happen to you, only to help you grow, only to strengthen your emotional and spiritual stability. And you are at a point where how, because you're more conscious about how you feel, how to manage your emotions around people. That is also why you're in the high position that you are in now, is because you have a really good work ethic. And keep doing that. Keep practicing that healthy work ethic, and how you treat those who are under you. You treat them fairly. And for those who may seem a little jealous of you, don't give it 2 cents. Don't give it 2 cents. it is not your business what they are feeling and how they are feeling towards you. It is not your business, because more than often the way that they are feeling, that jealousy that they are feeling, is a reflection of what they don't what they're not okay with within themselves. And so remember that they have their own karmic debt and their own healing that they need to do, and you're not the one to heal them. You're not the one to heal them. So remember that. Okay. The sixth card over here represents past issues which affect present performance. Okay, past issues that present present performance. And this card, the Knight of Arrows, is about holding grudges. So early on, maybe in your field or something that you'll continually try to work on, is holding grudges against those people who are jealous of you, right? And like I said, what this card is telling you to do is to just let go. Don't give it 2 cents. Don't have those grudges against those people. One way to deal with that, and how I have also been able to deal with it, is with my own work experience, is it is not your business how somebody else feels about you. Okay, you don't have any reason for them to not like you. And so believe that nothing you did caused them to feel that way. Okay, so don't hold grudges, even if those people don't necessarily agree with your views. Don't hold a grudge against them, because they are also students in this huge lesson of life, right? It sounds very corny, but we all are. We're all trying to navigate our journey. We're trying to figure out how to navigate these complex relationships that we're constantly involved in. And how do we be okay with it, right? How do we be okay with it? How do we not hold grudges against those people? Because more than often, what grudges do is they resurrect these toxic emotions and these toxic dramas that come up, right? And so that's something that past issues that affect present performances, right? When you hold a grudge against someone and that comes to the surface, it's going to cause some type of drama. That's going to make that other person try to come at you even 10 times more than how you were trying to come at them. And so grudge always has some tones of retaliation as well. And so be very mindful of that, right? Even just feeling a grudge or some of that come to the surface, you are throwing that energy out there, right? You are throwing those vibes out there. And when you throw those vibes out there in the universe, it's going to come back to you. So if you don't want those things to come back to you, you need to confront those emotions and figure out, okay, I'm feeling some type of way about this person. What do I need to do? Where does this come from? How do I forgive myself? How do I forgive them? Or how do I just let it be, right? So when you're able to do that, right, take care of all this like unnecessary drama, all this unnecessary jealousy. Acknowledge that even those people who feel some type of way about you actually contribute to what you are trying to do in terms of expand your department, expand your business, expand your company, right? They all play a crucial role. And that there's a reason why they come into your path, is because they're meant to show you something as well. And it could just be that you also have to learn how to navigate those complex relationships with them, and how to value them as people who are also in this journey with you as well, as you are in their journey as well. What are their responsibilities that can help you grow as well? Once you have taken care of all of that, right, you have the Moon on the Water card. And this card represents anticipated results if guidance is followed. The Moon on water. And the water is a symbol of emotions in most of the tarot decks. Water is a symbol of emotions, and the moon is a symbol of transformation. And so when we think about emotions, it's not somebody else's emotions, it's always yours, right? Because we are made up of what, like 90 something percent of water. And so when we think about emotions, it is connected to water, right? It flows through your body as if, water flows through your body. You can think of it, this is a very literal or very cliche metaphor, but when we feel cold water run through our body, we feel it run through our body. When we feel hot water run through our body, we feel that as well. And so when you're able to check your emotions, right? Again, water comes up here as well. Emotions flowing, checking that. You'll start seeing the transformation in how you are growing too, to be able to check yourself, right? When you can check those emotions, you know that you are a sound person, you are a solid person, nothing can shake you, and you are good. That is why you are known as someone who has a very good work ethic, because you can already do it. It's just, when those grudges come back up, you don't know how to act. You don't know how to act, and you feel some type of way, and it is easier to let those emotions come out than holding them in to evaluate. It is a lot easier to let that emotion go and be mad and yell at somebody than be reflective, be water, right? Because being angry, being mad is very hard to suppress. Very hard to suppress. It doesn't go without saying it's not okay to be mad or angry. You can totally feel it. But it's in a matter of how you perform that emotion that is going to come back to you. It's going to come back to you in the form of karma and whatever that could be. Anything unresolved karmically is going to come back to you. And it's going to come back to you 2 times, 10 times, even more. Okay? Not so much worse, but you're going to feel it even more. And you're going to get to know it. Once you start checking those emotions and you start exercising that, you're going to become so well versed in knowing how karma flows and energy flows that you're not going to even have to give your grudges 2 thoughts. Okay? And so pile number 2, this is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it resonated with you. If it didn't, that's completely fine. Feel free to like or leave a comment down below, or subscribe if you have not. I do provide personal readings. If you would like an elaboration of this reading, you can find my information in the description box. Otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next video. So, what the card is revealing to me is that you're someone who probably just started your new job and you're very, very excited about it. So, this is actually a very, very good reading. Over here, this card represents if the card that tells or answers the question of, is this present career path what is truly desired? And it's absolutely saying yes, because you can see here ecstasy. You're really, really excited. This is going to change a lot of things for you. The overall thing that I'm getting from this reading is a huge transition, a huge change. Like, this is going to be life-changing for you. And if you're not currently in it, it's definitely in your path. Alright, so you are someone who just started your job and you are very, very excited for it. This card over here, the Knight of Vessels, eels, it represents actions that can be taken to advance your career. And really, what it's telling you is just kind of go with the flow. Don't let anything discourage you from what you feel about this job. Like, this is it. Like, you really got it. And so don't doubt your abilities. Don't let things bring you down. Trust and believe that this job was meant for you, and believe in yourself. Yeah, and just kind of go with the flow, right? Learn about your environment, learn about your position. Be open to what this position is going to bring you. Okay, things about this career that you just cannot change is Five of Arrows, which is rest. Like, you're gonna need a lot of it. It's gonna be a lot of hard work, and so you're gonna it's not anything that's gonna be easy, right? And this is something that I feel like you already anticipated, and you wouldn't have taken on this job if you didn't know what the hard work is going to look like. So this card down here represents your present view of current or career performance, and the card is the Nine of Vessels, generosity. Like, you see yourself really participating and giving as much as you can with this position. You might even work in the field of either human resources, helping others, helping the general public, working for an important cause, either charity, or I'm thinking something like donations or nonprofit, helping out underprivileged families. So you're giving. You feel like you have a lot that you want to give, but in fields where there is a lot of giving, giving yourself, be mindful that you will definitely need to take a lot of rest too, take a lot of time to replenish. So figure out that system. It's basically what this card is trying to tell you too, is secure that self-care routine that you're gonna need for this job. Okay, prepare, because you're going to be giving a lot. You're going to have to give a lot without little to gain. And again, I feel like you already knew this going into the job, and so all that really calls for you to do is to find that self-care. Okay, find that self-care, because this is something you feel you are meant to do, right? You can even see this man, he's sitting in the middle with all these vessels, and he's like pouring his energy into it. This is something that you are incredibly passionate about, and you have been looking for a job that fits how you want to give back to the community, and this is the job. This is the job that you have been looking for, and now is the time where you can help heal others through how you can give your time to help the community and provide your own resources and assistance to them. Okay, now what this card represents is personal changes to boost the career performance. So this is changes within you that you should expect to engage in. And the card is the Ancestor, the 5, which is the 5th card in the Major Arcana deck, and it represents a calling to do this. Like, this is again what you have wanted to do, and you feel so passionately about it. Like, this is it. This is what you have been looking to do. You feel like this is your true purpose. This is your true purpose, and you know that you're going to give your 100% to this. It could even be where you are providing healing circles or healing services to those who need it. So then your role, something that you're gonna have to start doing, is that maybe because you're so passionate about this, is because you resonate with the people who you are working for or working with, and now it is no longer about how you are a person who needs this help, but your role has transitioned into the guide for the community that needs your services. So in a way, you are no longer the mentor. You are no longer the mentee. You are the mentor, and so that is the one personal change that's gonna come to you. You can no longer feel like you can no longer feel like you are someone who is receiving this service. You are the one who is providing the service, if that makes sense. So yeah, and again, I think you are very mindful of that, because if you weren't, you wouldn't have taken on this position, because you have gone through similar things of as to what the people who you'll be serving has experienced. You are even more so passionate about it. So then the next card is the Two of Stones, which represents a challenge, and this card also represents the past issues which affect present performance. Something that you felt in your positions in the past is either that it hasn't really served you, and these challenges are just kind of the challenges that you've endured. You felt like they weren't addressing your concerns, or they weren't addressing the passion that you felt so deeply for. So in a way, the challenges weren't as fruitful for you. And so now that you're in this new position, you feel like the challenges are well invested challenges, and they're not just going to waste. You've also felt in the past quite a lot with the positions that you've held is you've questioned yourself of whether that job was meant for you, and now that you're in this new position, you no longer feel that. Okay. So this last card represents the anticipated results if guidance is followed, and this card is a Six of Arrows, transition. Right now, this particular job is going to change everything for you. Like, this is going to be the job that you live, breathe, and eat. And it's a huge, huge transition for you, which is good, because, you know, now you know that you're doing something that you love. You're doing something that you feel that you are able to invest your 100% in without it going to waste. Okay. Again, you can even see that there's water and a moon, and the moon represents transition, whereas the water represents that sort of like the reflection of how you've been feeling, doing a lot of inner work, inner self work, as well as emotional healing. Okay. So I think this is all that I have for you today, pile number 3. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this resonated with you, don't forget to like, leave a comment, or subscribe if you haven't. If it didn't resonate with you, that is completely fine. This is a generalized reading, and what I ask for everyone to do is, even though there are some things that didn't resonate with you and some that did, that this is all about how you see the message intuitively fitting your circumstances. And so thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you in the next video. So pile number 4, what the cards are revealing to me is that, you know, you're probably entering an internship, or you're entering a new chapter in your life that is making you feel so confident about what you're capable of doing. And the interesting thing is the cards down here below is calling on you to just be more confident, feel empowered, really believe that this is meant for you. Really believe that nobody else is most deserving of this position than you are. You can see right here, this is the first card that was drawn. And it represents your questioning about whether this path is really intended for you, and the tradition card comes up, right? You don't feel like maybe you're the person for the job because you don't fit the bill. And so what has been, again, traditionally, the people who've been considered for the position look very differently from you. and you're unsure. Even their credentials are different, and you're kind of doubting yourself. And so yeah, you have to believe that, this job, there's a reason why you were selected to take on that position. And even though someone may have taken you under their wing, uh, and you feel like somebody else deserves it more, really believe that, this is an opportunity for you to grow. This is an opportunity for you to learn more and expand or broaden your knowledge base about the career choice that you've decided to pursue. The thing is, like, the instruction card comes up, right? The instruction 10 of arrows comes up, and you can see this old man who's trying to teach this young boy how to shoot an arrow. And one thing that you can do, and the only thing that you can do in this particular situation, is to learn from everybody and all of those who are in your higher ups, or who is willing to take the time to share with you, and embrace that. This card represents actions that can be taken to advance your career, and it's just learning from everything that is going to be handed to you. That's the only way that you're gonna become that person you envision yourself to be, the expert in your field. You may even be someone who didn't have the degree, or didn't have the paperwork or the credentials to get the job that you did, but because of your hard work and some of the things that you have done outside of these of your academic background, someone saw something in you to hire you for the position. All right. And so even though, there are others who got hired into this position at the same time as you did, and they all have the paperwork that can vouch for their experience, you are just as equally qualified for the position. All right. And so the tradition card comes up because you're thinking, like, well, I don't have the credentials that these people have, but am I really meant for this position? And so I'm really speaking just from a perspective of an example, not necessarily pinpointing an actual person. This is just kind of what I have been envisioning. And so again, you don't necessarily have to be an intern or anything. You may just be entering a position where it's going against tradition, and you're perplexed by it. So then the second card that comes up is that even if you feel that way, just learn as much as you can. Even if you don't feel like this position, like you didn't have those quote unquote credentials that all your peers had to get the position, believe in yourself, right? Use your opportunity to learn and gain everything that you can from everyone that you interact with, and use that to grow. Use that to strengthen your role in the position that you've been selected for. And down here, the third card, which represents the aspects of a career that cannot be changed, is insecurity. You can't change that fact, right? You're gonna always feel that. And so how do you turn that over? How do you turn that over? How do you take this where you acknowledge that you don't have what others have? How can you change that? I kind of am getting the sense that you're a very humble person. You don't like to throw things in people's faces, or what you know into people's faces. You see everyone, even those who are younger than you, as your teachers. You don't try to one-up somebody on their knowledge, or even their field of work. You're a very humble person, but that doesn't go without saying that there are insecurities in that too. It's just you know how to manage your insecurities better than other people. Okay? Like you coexist with them. The fourth card that came up is present view of current career performance. And you do see it as everyone else is very happy for you. Everyone else is very happy for you. You are also very excited that you got this position, but you are also very, again, humble about it. And so while you see this as a celebration of a new chapter in your life, you are also very, very aware of how it could easily change. But at this moment, you're in that celebration phase. Everyone is celebrating you. Everyone is very excited for you, but you have this kind of like doppelganger effect where you don't feel like it's you and it's just somebody else who's like you that is most deserving of it. But this next card, the seer is telling you, which represents personal changes to boost your career performance, is to, again, just really believe in yourself. Focus on your inner power. Focus on how much you can bring to the table. Focus on some aspects of your life, some aspects of your personality and your expertise and knowledge base that those who went to school, for example, and got their college degree doesn't have, right? Focus on those skills. You're someone who is really good at what you do. Like you just intuitively know how to handle certain tough situations and you can turn it around very quickly. Like you have the willpower to be able to do the job that you are meant to do, like this job that you've been selected to do. Like you believe that this job is for you, but you kind of feel like somebody else also deserves it more, and so you're always humbled by that fact. But because you're in this position, you also acknowledge that even though you'd like to celebrate the fact that you have been selected for this position, that there's still a lot of work that you know needs to be done. And the next card is past issues which affect present performance is empowerment. And that comes up with insecurity, right? Insecurity and empowerment. Insecurity and empowerment. You've had issues with being empowered. Maybe even those around you didn't give you signs that you were doing well, and you struggled with that because you didn't know if you were on the right path. You didn't know if what you were doing was serving a purpose or changing or being productive. And so empowerment, like you lacked that. And that comes back up because it's manifested as insecurity in your current position. And so what the cards are telling you is that believe that this is for you. Believe that this job is for you. Believe that everything that has happened in the past is in the past. And regardless of some things that you don't have and others have, it could be the other way around as well. Okay? It could definitely be the other way around, and be empowered by that. Be empowered by the fact that you didn't need to go to 4 years of college or go to community college to be able to do your work, because what you have against them is that you have pure, raw experience that gives you the knowledge that you have to do your job. Okay? So, the last card that comes up is healing. There's definitely a lot of healing that you need to do to undo that insecurity and help you find that empowerment, right? So what this last card represents is anticipated results if guidance is followed. Once you keep getting into that thinking of, I have my raw experience to help me in this position, once you start really believing and seeing that, you'll start healing that aspect of yourself, and you'll no longer feel insecure. You'll no longer feel a lack of empowerment. You will definitely start doing some healing on your part to be able to be the best version of yourself, to do the job that you were intended to do or you were selected for. And you have to believe that the person who hired you into this position didn't just hire you because they were playing favoritism. It is definitely the fact that they saw you as the perfect person for that position, and that is why they reached out to you. That is why they hired you, and believe that. Somebody else saw that in you to want you to be a part of their team. And so always, always remember that. Okay? So pile number 4, this is all that I have for you. It is very straightforward. You just have to let go of some of that insecurity to do some healing. Find that empowerment again and believe that this is for you. Even though it goes against what other people have had to do to get to the position that they are, you are a very special person in this case. You are a very special person in this case, in the position that you are, and just continue believing in yourself. Believing in yourself, and learn from all the tasks, all the responsibilities, everything that is involved in this position to help you with progressing, helping you grow in this position. This position isn't meant to be a challenge or a career for you, or a obstacle for you. It is meant to be a career path that is gonna grow with you as well as you growing with them. Okay? So again, pile number 4, this is your reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this resonated with you, like or leave a comment, or subscribe if you haven't. If this doesn't resonate with you, it's completely fine. This is a generalized reading. As long as something resonates with you, then that's completely fine. Again, what these readings are intended for is for you to utilize your intuition to see how some of these messages or snippets of these readings resonate with you, to help you heal and carry on with your decision making, or even the way that you are trying to heal in your current circumstances. And so thank you again. I will see you in the next video.